Alright, hello and welcome to the VR Master League, or more specifically, the Onward Master League. Today, we have Mob Squad versus Globochem, a pretty high-tier matchup, and I'm joined here today with my co-caster Noman. How are you?
Doing well, good sir. Doing well. Thanks for asking. How you doing?
I am also doing very well, thank you for asking. But today, I think we're going to have some very good matches indeed. These are two top-tier teams which have gone up together quite a long time ago. And it's the only loss Globochem has sustained since Season 4. The last one up against each other back in Season 4, or at least as soon as I checked. And Mob Squad beat them 12-4, which is definitely not something that happens often. And Globochem's only lost 2 matches recently. That one I just said in Season 4, and then against beginners at OC5. So undefeated is definitely a good word for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good matchup. I think Mob Squad's been sort of coming up in the world a little bit. They've had a rough start to the season, but now I believe they're ranked 8 worldwide, and I think a win over Globochem could be a huge, huge boon for them.
Definitely could. But taking a look at some of the matches they've had in previous, Mob Squad don't really seem to favour any map, at least from what I could see. They kind of like to stay nice and balanced between Quarantine, which would probably not be a good pick considering Globochem absolutely dominates teams on Quarantine. They absolutely love it. They are probably the best in the world at Quarantine, beating Lemma Squad pretty easily, I imagine. Though I don't believe they've ever directly gone up against each other. Anyway, we should hopefully be hopping into the lobby now, and since we're in the war room, we can give you a little look at what kind of maps we're going to be playing. This first map, don't quite have it just yet, but the bans at least, we do have one of them. That is Globochem having banned Suburbia. Kind of a, I don't know about you, but I think it's kind of a standard ban. It's not too risky, because Mob Squad doesn't favour any big map. Suburbia is always, it can be a mixed bag. If you like get a bad rush, they do really well. It's just kind of dangerous with the objectives and the kind of fairness of it.
Yeah, it's one of those maps that I think has sort of that 50-50 quality of it. It's a little bit environmental, so it depends on the objectives that the team gets, like you said. And another part of it is just that it's a really timings-based map. It's just who is able to peek a corner at the right time, who, stays hidden long enough. And another thing is grenades. Who can land those frags? Who can toss them over the houses? It's kind of a anybody's game sort of map, so I'm not surprised to see it disappear from rotation here.
Sure, but the lobby is finally up now and we're heading in, so hopefully the teams are going to be ready relatively soon, and we can also finally tell you what kind of map we're going to be seeing for this first match. And surprisingly, actually, this is going to be a pick from Mob Squad, and it's going to be Quarantine for the first map. That's not something I expect considering how kind of dominating Globochem are on Quarantine.
Yeah, I think they wanted to take the power out of Globo's hands here, right? Take the map that is most likely to be picked and force Globo to pick a map that maybe they don't practice as much when it's their turn.
Possibly, Anyway, both teams are seemingly ready now, so hopefully we'll be hopping in very shortly into this match. And Noman, what are your kind of what is your expectations for Mob Squad going up here? Do you think it's going to be incredibly close? Do you think they've been practicing for this specific match? Or do you think it's going to be kind of an average Globochem just kind of doing their eternal eye over every single team and dominating them? Though Mob Squad, they're certainly not going to go down that easy.
I think if Mob Squad picks this map out the gate, I think they feel good about it. I don't think you pick this map against Globochem unless you put some time into it and you've watched some tapes. Globo's played this map quite a few times, I think, in the last couple of weeks on some of the casts, so I think they've had enough tapes to study. So I can't give the round to them necessarily. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, but I would not be surprised to see them put up 2-3 points, even if they aren't able to capitalize completely and get that map win.
Likely. Now, both these teams are ready, so we are definitely going to be hopping in very shortly. Let me just take a look at the teams, see what their kind of hold-up is here. Teams have been alerted, and we still unfortunately don't have Mob Squad's ban, but what are your kind of predictions for it? Because Globochem, if it wasn't Quarantine 1 being banned, what do you think Mob Squad might have banned against Globochem?
I think Downfall is the next best choice. I mean, Downfall is a really, really strong map for Globochem. I think that considering Arsenic is in the lineup today, we all know how dangerous he can be with an AK-5C long range on that map. And I think it's not a map that you want to go in, you know, half-cocked against Globochem on. I wouldn't be surprised if that was going to be their pick.
Definitely does sound like sound reasoning for that. But now, thinking back to some differences between these two teams, gotta say, looking at these stats, both teams are actually doing reasonably well. Obviously, Globochem is doing 9-0, 100% win rate, 1.3k MMR, to be exact, 1.31k MMR. 105 points, which is, I believe, almost top at the point rankings, though there are teams, I think Blaze is above them by about 30 points. You should be able to figure that out, considering you are, of course, a member of Blaze, a very good team. And then for Mob Squad, you have 63% win rate, 5-3. Doing pretty well, even though after they did, of course, lose Arsenic all of those seasons ago. It feels like forever, but it was only shortly after the first Leicester event that they lost him, and they're going up against him today. Maybe they'll bring a little bit of a grudge match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting play. I mean, Mob Squad should know his style, should know what to look for, even if it's a little bit dated. And I think they're gonna struggle a little bit, but we'll see what they do here in this first round.
We will indeed. And that is going to be the Eastern objective. Pretty good one for them to start off with in terms of both teams, really. If Globochem can keep a nice, solid defense and make sure they can't get into the south, or if they do get into the south, to just make sure they can't cross the road, they should be in a very good way indeed. Question is, not Nightfire, Noman, 2 ends. Can they actually get into the south and do some nice offense?
Yeah, I think the smokes are a good diversion. I think they're going to slow up the offense a little bit because they're looking for those picks. You can kind of see that happening right there. We've only seen one cross to gas station so far, and
One's on the south
I think they're going to let the north develop as well too. Though it's an interesting push on this side. They've kind of spread themselves a little thin.
Possibly. It is looking a little bit sparse on the north side. Taking a look at the big map here, though maybe the kind of oddball position of Auto there could be very good for them. We did have Nolomite on the roof call out some positions on the south, so they should hopefully be aware of Raphael's position, and also hopefully Arsenic, who's definitely going to be ruling over this northern side with his most likely 12 times. Actually, take a look at it. I have a feeling it's definitely a 12 times. No, it's not. It's a hollow sight, an AK-12. I'm kind of surprised by that.
What I'm surprised by here is Bluega is at the cement trucks. I mean, he has made his way all the way up. You know, he's spitting distance from this objective. It's pretty crazy that no one from Globo has been able to catch him out just yet, although Arsenic is definitely in that position to spot him now.
Definitely is. I'm amazed Bluega is this far up, as you said, and the entirety of his team is still way in the back. We do have a little bit of Arsemper and Raphael trading. Raphael does eventually take down Nolomite with a nice kind of long-range shot there. It's only a down, unfortunately, though he did manage to take him on the roof, and that's a big pick. And Toast does take down Bluega as well. Eventually, he did manage to catch him in the street. I'm not sure what Bluega's plan was just there.
Yeah, he had no support from his teammates. Nolomite was down on the roof especially, and he wasn't checking his tablet. He was trying to stay quiet, so he didn't know he had no cover, but his push was so aggressive, and there was no utility usage to try to cover his approach. Yeah, I'm sort of at a loss.
I have a feeling that it looks like Mob Squad will be going for the revive, though. You see one member of Mob Squad is peeling all the way back from the western side, trying to head towards the roof, and that is Smithy trying to get up his buddy Gnome. The question is, Raphael, I imagine, is going to be waiting for someone to come up here. Globochem are the kind of people that are not omniscient enough to see that if they take down someone on the roof, chances are they're only downed and not, in fact, finished off. But if Smithy stays nice and low, he should be relatively safe, as long as Nolomite isn't standing up when he does get revived.
Yeah, we're starting to see Semper move up, along with, who's that there, Plots on this side. Semper throwing out sort of a test frag out towards Thunder Pilot, but it doesn't quite catch him.
So they're just toying with the notion of kind of pushing the southern side. They do get the revive on the north, which is definitely a big boon. They are up to 4 members yet again. But so far, they are not really making any progress here. Mob Squad doesn't really have any kind of advantage for pushing in. That Globochem knows where the members are, they know where they're kind of trying to push, as Raphael did pop off those shots towards plots, and of course he also took down Nolomite on the roof. So I think they're going to be in for a really hard time here if they don't get some really nice smokes and have a little bit of a dashing of luck.
Oh, they're going to need definitely a little bit of luck, and I bet they're missing Bluega now on that north side. There's very little pressure on the north side from Mob Squad. I think they're all just kind of set up looking to try to get a pick, but as we saw, Raphael was taking some shots onto their position, so Globo does know where they're approaching from, and they're going to have a hard time penetrating this defense with 2 minutes left.
Are indeed, though. This is a kind of an interesting move from Smithy and Nolomite here on the north. They're starting to go around the motel side, which may not work out considering Auto's position, watching from the Toast's position rather, watching from the windows, and you can see he was picked off, peeking that long range against the Globochem. Typically doesn't work out.
Yeah, we're seeing Semper put down a smoke on Arsenic's position, start to move around a little bit, but he's got too many people to deal with on that south side. I don't think he's going to be able to make an easy inroad here despite blocking that one view.
Very much indeed, though. I'm kind of interested by Mob Squad's offense here. They're going for a north focus here. 2 members coming in from both cement trucks and the north side of the central building. They're trying to pincer this objective, but it's not going to work out considering Toad's amazing position. But Nolomite does take down Arsenic, a Thunderpilot takes down Semper, and that just leaves 1 man left, that being the poor Plots. Stuck in a very sticky situation and totally unaware of how many are left on his side. And with 60 seconds left, time is not his friend. Try peek this corner and look for Toast now. He's not away, he's crossed over towards the objective, though hopefully if he peeks this he may catch him through the smoke, and yes he does. That is 1 member down. This is still only a 1v3, so it's going to be a very uphill battle. Going to be slowly looking for these members. He has 35 seconds. He did catch Thunder moving about on the objective, but there's no way he'll expect Auto in that position at this time, especially with Toast calling out his current location.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tricky situation to get out of for Plots. He's got to move really quickly. Raphael taking shots at him as he tries to rotate, slowing him up a little bit there.
He's starting to go onto the objective now. He's not going to expect Auto around this corner for certain, and he definitely won't expect Thunderfire to rush out as he did, but yes, it was Auto who took him down in the end. And with only 8 seconds left, well, 9 seconds, there is not much he could really do in that situation. The South offense is kind of detrimental, kind of required for this kind of Marstock push. If you can't push the South or take down the motel guy, it's really a lost cause.
Yeah, that south position is so key, and Thunderpilot and Raphael held it very well. They were able to pick up everybody who came down in that corridor. Semper had a good line on Raphael for a moment, but as soon as he took shots out, Thunder was there for the refrag. And yeah, well, like you said, once that south crumbles, North has a very hard time approaching. Too many angles to check.
Absolutely. Now, Mob Squad's defense on this objective, how do you think they're going to try and play it? Are they going to try and play it like they would expect themselves to attack, going for a more northern-based offense, northern-based defense, rather, or are they going to try for the south, as most teams normally would, like Globochem did in the last round? I think the obvious choice is to just go for that nice south defense, keep it nice and solid, but against Globochem, they could pull out some mad miracle, take over the south, or just push it from the north anyway. I don't think you can really make any certain expectations of Globochem in matches like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of always a toss-up with Globo, and I think they tend to try out different things against different teams, especially having played Mob Squad before. I think they're going to be learning from the mistakes they made in that game that they had lost, and I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of a change-up in their tactics here. But I have a feeling they're going to like that north side. Globochem's very good at those long-range shots, and they're a lot easier to pull off on the north side than they are on that south approach. So I would be kind of surprised if they focus heavily south. But, you know, being surprised is what's been happening all day today. So
It definitely has. Now, one thing I would like to see is, you mentioned it with the long-range engagement, is Arsenic with his 12 times, the trademark of both Globochem previously and now Mob Squad. Or other way around, rather. Mob Squad previously and Globochem now. He is an utter demon with that. I think it's safe to say better than Mr. Death. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I do expect him to take out that 12 times. If they do decide for a northern kind of based offense here, it could work out really well as long as he can take out the hotel guy, which if they are going to take the 12 times, Mob Squad have to know that they simply cannot peek the windows facing towards the northern side of Motel, because doing that is a death trap, a total and utter death trap.
Yeah, they've got to play this as close quarters as they can. I mean, beating Globo at the long range is a tall order on their worst days. But getting them in close and sort of making them have to rotate and watch different angles is the best way to try to pick them off. And I think if they're patient enough,
I'm not sure what
it could work out for them.
The glass building.
Definitely could, but now they are going into this second round. You can see Toast already throwing away his pistol, a trademark move of himself. Now, with this southern street spawn, Thunderpilot and Auto are definitely going to be waiting and trying to catch anyone crossing on the southern side here.
Yeah, Smokes did come out from Mob Squad to try to cross that south side, but it's not clear yet whether they're going to try it yet. It looks like they're repositioning a couple of them to try and get that full cross.
So, unfortunately, Thunderpilot has decided to rotate off and go towards Burning after they relocated those smokes. Definitely a good move to relocate them. You know, I get to use fewer smokes. You can move up to the APC, the Humvee, which is a relatively safe position. And just throw them away, and nice. You've got some extra smokes to use, possibly for the rotation back, in case your southern or northern defenses do in fact fail. This is a pretty aggressive move from Nolomai here. He's peeking the southern hills quite frequently. If he only does it once, it might be safe. But if he continues, I believe it will not end well. You can see his head peeking over. There's no way Auto didn't catch that.
And that shield approaching on that side is going to be dangerous as well. He's got to make those call-outs and then find a rotation, try to get out of that danger zone, and make sure some teammates can help him tackle that shield approach.
Oh, for certain, they will not expect this shield coming from the south. I believe Raphael, yeah, he has a nade in hand, but it doesn't matter. Smithy managed to get a really nice long shot from the motel. That is perfect, and that nade isn't going to finish off Raphael. It doesn't, but Nolomai at least does get the confirming kill on the southern side that has given away his position to the remaining member in the south, that being Auto. Oh, I'm seeing kind of surprisingly passive gameplay from Globochem here. They still have guys rotating around, kind of hanging back in the north, waiting for maybe what seems to be some pushes. And was that was yeah, exactly what I was thinking. That was a long-range sniper down, or rather a sniper kill from Arsenic with the 12 times. Not even sure who he managed to get. That was Plots. But where was Plots?
Oh, Plots was rotating back towards the rooftop from cement trucks, and Arsenic had picked up a position in the truck stop there and was just waiting for him and got an amazing headshot on him with that M16.
Definitely was beautiful. But now Arsenic, he should definitely know that Smithy is going to be sitting up here. It's a position that everybody and their mother takes. He will definitely expect it. He will definitely try and get some sights into it with that 12 times. He's going to be waiting for it, and the rest of Globochem is starting to move in. Semper does unfortunately tag Auto now. Has given away his position using a TAR-21 on Quarantine, which is kind of surprising, but he's got a really nice long angle here. Very good cover and some pretty good concealment too.
Yeah, I think Arsenic's hoping to try to get a pick on that HQ building, try to clear off the objective a little bit. But if he's not careful, Smithy is trained on that hill. He's expecting Arsenic, but Arsenic picks him up despite that with a beautiful headshot. One shot, one kill.
I think Arsenic has surpassed human ability at this kind of level. He managed to get 2 perfect one-tap headshots in a row on Quarantine with his 12 times. This is definitely the work of some kind of bionics he has at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah, he did the same move as me, but instead of for predictions, he decided to get some rock-solid bionic arms instead. But this is the Globochem push now. They are starting to move in. I'm not sure if that's a... No, he's in fact dead. I thought there was a revive coming out on that south street, but alas, it's not going to happen. So Arsenic's in such a good position here to actually start moving in from the northern sides. These smokes, he could definitely do something, and something very good.
And callouts are now coming out from Bluega in that HQ, talking about the smokes. And the approach from Globochem, Arsenic making a super aggressive push there.
And this is incredibly aggressive. Nolomite will definitely catch him if he peeks over these stairs too, obviously. Looks like Arsenic did actually catch Nolomite just the very tip of his head, and he does get the shot onto him and takes him down. Now, all of these smokes coming in. Mob Squad are going to be pretty panicked. Bloega has decided to rush out and relocate them. A pretty good move. There's no way he's getting shot in that kind of concealment. But Arsenic's in such a good position to tag him now if he tries to peek these stairs. Which he does, though. Unfortunately, Arsenic has just rotated off, and now Bloega is safe from danger. There goes Thunderpart, taken down by Semper, and Arsenic is going straight in here along with Toast. It's a 2v2 situation, though. Nolomite is far too far away. Arsenic is going in, takes down Bloega, though he did throw out a flash. That is Toast blinded, and he team kills Arsenic. A very rare Globochem team kill here. Now Toast is hunting for this final kill. He has no idea where he could be coming from. The only question is Toast going to be able to defend this, or is Arsenic going to take it down? It's a trade, and the trade goes to Mob Squad. A very, very lucky trade for them right there. What an unexpectedly close round right there.
Yeah, wow. I don't think if you'd have asked me 30 seconds prior to that finishing how that round was going to go, I would have said Globo's going to take it. But that team kill coming out from, I believe that was Toast, or is it Otto, on Arsenic was pretty huge. And that trade going to Mob Squad is pretty much the best stroke of luck you can have.
It is indeed. And I've got to say, that flash, that final dying flash thrown out by the last man on objective, Bloega, that was detrimental to Globochem, because that's what's caused the team kill. He was totally blind, rushed in, pre-fired the corner using just every kind of ingrained reflex he had. And then he just couldn't hold that angle because of obviously Bloega rushing in. Him probably being a little bit shaken up by that team kill, though he is still Globochem. He's not going to be too shaken up about it. Just a little bit, enough to maybe throw off his game a tiny bit. And then you have the trade, which is just unlucky. You can sometimes lose those trades despite firing first, getting the first kill. It can be really a dice roll.
Yeah, I mean that was great awareness by him through that flash, getting that kill, whether it's a team kill or not. I mean, it was the right move to do in that scenario. Just unfortunately, in this stage, it did not work out based on who he had left alive. But things happen. It's still the second round. I think we're still early in this, and we will see how this turns out.
Well, indeed, this is only the second round, as you said. What do you think other maps are going to be played during this match? I'm kind of feeling maybe a cargo coming out if it wasn't the map ban. Definitely not Downfall, which Globochem, which Mob Squad, as you said, most likely banned. So I think we'll see maybe a cargo, a suburbia. I don't believe we'll be seeing any oddballs like a tanker coming out here, and especially not Subway, as it is restricted during this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bazaar is going to be the map to watch out for here. That's the one I think both of these teams are pretty good at. I think that both of them have strengths and weaknesses on it that I think are they sort of complement each other. So I think it'd be a really exciting match to see. It's kind of my, not a prediction, but sort of a hope, a dream, as it were.
Very safe. You're playing it nice and safe. You're trying to avoid the development of a curse like myself.
It's contagious, I heard, Bucks. It's contagious.
It is. You've got to be careful. All of you watching, you need to be careful as well. Any predictions in chat you might have, they may or may not cause you to be permanently cursed by some kind of black magic rituals that may or may not be performed by me. But I'm kind of interested in what kind of objective we'll be seeing for this match here. Well, this round here, and it's going to be the West Courtyard. That could be a bit of a rough one for Globochem. Maybe Muscle's going to be able to make some good of this as the round does start off. It's quite an open one. You can cap from the other side of the wall, of course. So Globochem, though they do very rarely go for caps, they could. Rather the other way around, Mob Squad, they could go for a cap in, because Globochem, when during the next round, they may not go for it, as they do often just avoid caps altogether. It's kind of a strange desire of them.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting defensive positioning by Globochem initially. They're going to send two in the far back west there, kind of watching that north approach, expecting that quick spawn and that wrap around the west side, and the rest are going to be in the middle. So I'm interested to see how this southern approach fares with such a northwest-focused defense.
Indeed. Now, Arsenic has already called out that there is going to be a southeast spawn, and an amazing nade from Toast, gagging 3 at Ambulance. That are going to be revives. Right there, that's going to be a triple revive, but oh my god, what a glorious nade thrown there. Utterly unbelievable, and Toast is going to be pushing up to try and confirm any of those kills he may or may not have gotten. He does tag Plot, but unfortunately the refrag comes out from Nolomite, and Nolomite is pushing up to the objective, unfortunately taken out by Arsenic, and he is going to be looking for more as this push continues from Mob Squad.
Yeah, that was an amazing grenade and an amazing pickup for them. Unfortunately, obviously, to confirm those kills would have been very difficult, but we've seen a lot of those great nades all day today, and I would be not surprised if we see twice as many in this match.
I would not either. Arsempa is the man left at the angle. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle for him, and Bluega is having a little bit of a tango with what appears to be Auto at the gas station. He's in a little bit of trouble. It's actually Raphael, the man himself. And Arsempa's also having a little bit of trouble with Arsenic. This is definitely not looking good for Mob Squad in any capacity. I thought Globochem might have a little bit of an issue with it, but apparently not. That nade totally stopped any momentum Mob Squad tried to have from that quick spawn.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be seeing another good nade out from Thunder Pilot on Semper's position, but it doesn't quite pan out. I think the defense is kind of set in its ways now. They know where the approach is coming from. As I say that, Arsenic picks up Semper at the ambulance, bringing it down to this 4v2.
Yeah, that was another nice pick from Arsenic. You could tell Arsenic and Arsempa were trying to fight for each other, doing a little bit of a game there. Bluega, that was a really nice shot from the southern side hill. Managing to tag Arsenic. The Thunder is going to get that revive, of course. A very vital revive for them, as Arsenic is a very, very strong player with that 12 times, especially on a map such as Quarantine, where you don't really expect long-ranging gamers to be such a thing. But it certainly works out as Arsenic manages to take down Bluega. And this is going to be a 1v4. There is no way that poor little Smithy is going to be able to pull this back, especially with the smoke switch. He's now going to have to redirect, as they were a little bit too short.
I can't even throw fucking smoke grenades for so much fucking light.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of trouble throwing that second smoke. Decides to give up on it and rotate around to ambulance, see if he can find that angle.
Yes, indeed. Just ignore the talk around Smithy. That is unfortunately a mild bug in the spectating. No players can hear that, though we can unfortunately hear just the bare leaking of the tent comms between the teams, so we'll have to dodge away while he's near the bodies, just in case there's any tactics being discussed. Smithy, he does have 3 minutes remaining, which is a decent amount of time, though. 3 minutes, Globochem 1v4. I don't think anyone can pull it off.
Yeah, I think he's not expecting that Raphael flank that's coming up behind him on that plane wing side. I think if he decides to rotate, he's going to get punished for it, and if Raph is quick enough here, he's going to see him, and indeed he does, but too late. Arsenic actually picks him up there and gives Globo that round.
A brutal pinstring. There is no way that Smithy could have gotten out of that alive. That was, I still can't get over how beautiful of a nade that was coming out from Toast there. In fact, I think we should go take another look at it in the replay here. Swapping over. Take a look at this. Whether it's actually this scene right here. We could see him kind of lining up at the burning building here, just at the outside of the wall. Started zooming in on Arsenic. He started getting on the radio. He saw that smoke come over, a very, very vital piece of information. Arsenic also called out, and then you see it just beautifully arc in, and it totally decimates all three of them. If they threw a confirming nade shortly after, that would have been utterly devastating, and I think I may have cried.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that it didn't fully take someone out. As of this 1.4 update, now grenades that land pretty close to someone's body now will insta-kill them rather than just down them. So it's actually kind of fortuitous for them that that grenade only downed 3 players rather than taking out 3 players. It's a stroke of luck, I guess, for a bad situation.
Definitely is, and you can see who the star player of this map currently is on the side of Globochem. 8-2, with that 12 times getting those 2 headshots. Utterly disgusting.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. It's definitely hard to watch.
Absolutely.
Makes you a little bit mad, I think. Just
It'll definitely make me a little bit angry.
You want to be that good. you want to be that good, but you maybe we just don't put enough hours in, Buxton. Maybe that's what it is.
Arsenic definitely has some kind of exercise regimen he does just to make sure his arms are nice and steady before every match. That's why they do a scrim before every league match. They're just trying to pump up those arms, make them nice and solid.
Yeah, there's got to be a P90X workout that it works on holding guns that steady, and I need whatever that tape is.
Yeah, you're gonna have to share it. We're blackmailing you, Arsenic. You got to share it with everyone in the league. But hopefully we should be hopping into this third, or rather fourth round in this map. I'm kind of expecting this to go to a 2-4 on the side of Globochem taking it. So I think Mob Squad could probably defend this, assuming it's a southeast spawn and they kind of get back vengeance, but that's a bit of an assumption, because I think they would be demoralised from such a devastating loss the last round. I know I certainly would be, because wow, a triple nade, that's insult to injury, especially with the double headshots previously.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult to come back from. We saw their offense stall out and couldn't really recover after that, so hopefully they can come into this defense a little bit more fresh. I think if any of the objectives, aside from maybe the truck stop one, this is likely one of the more simple to defend, and I think they could get their second point here, but I guess it'll all be up to them to see if we can do that.
Indeed it is. Sorry, I used the wrong overlay there. This is in fact round 4, not round 3 like the previous round should have been. Sorry about that, I may have forgotten to do it initially, but anyway, this is quite a tight defense for our Mob Squad here. They're not really doing any kind of dangerous positions. They're staying nice and close together. Globochem's opting for a northern stacked offense here, which is definitely, I think, a good idea considering the spawn they had. Going south and crossing over, trying to tango with that tiny gap, it's not a good time.
No, definitely not, and I think that Mob Squad's got the right idea here. If you want to know where the offense is coming from, you watch these two streets. If anybody's going to cross the streets, you'll know exactly which spawn they started in, and it's an easy way to make a call out for your team. And at this point, they haven't seen anybody cross, so it's going to take a little bit of time for them to figure out exactly which position it's in, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them rotate to a more northern heavy defense once they get that call out.
So they do have Nolomite and Arsent, but they seem to be the two men that could rotate, though Nolomite is the objective man. Arsemper's kind of floating back in the southwest. A good position, as long with Smithy here. Proning by the fuselage, which is now a banned spot. This is such a strong position from him. Look at this. His body is mostly inside of the building, and he is just poised to catch anyone at the base of the roof. Maybe Arsent can be hunting for him, though. He does, in fact, have a sight line, but he'd be incredibly prophetic to actually realise he's here. So I don't think we'll be seeing that, though. I would definitely like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Arsenic with that 12x, but looks like so far they have not yet engaged. They're taking their time. They're sort of encircling this defense, almost like they have like a sixth sense for where these defense members set up, and they're kind of man-to-man stacking up against them.
Dude, it's kind of impressive, actually. I was seeing a little bit of a move up the west by the member of Mob Squad Plots. Not entirely sure what he's trying here, but it could be devastating for Globochem. They may not expect him to be this far back, especially not with an objective like this, and their push starting to begin now. Ah, really nice prone shot from Arsenic there. Toast also picking up Luega. Some nice early picks. There's 2 picks I've got for this early push here. Thunderpilot, unfortunately, taken down by Smithy from the fuselage spot of Refrag, taking it down. Nolomite from Toast there. Now, this is a really good position for them to be pushing in now. 4v2. They just start to collapse in now. You can see Nolomite and Plots both coming back to the objective, trying to lock things down. They do not want to allow a camp. They do not want this to go to a 4-1.
Yeah, they're getting closer to the objective, which is the right thing to do, but Globochem's coming at him from all angles. It's kind of hard to defend this. Toast picking up Plots there.
And a trade between Smithy and Toast there. A very nice trade. Unfortunately, it does go to the weight of Globochem for Mob Squad. Those 2 members alive, or rather 3 members alive, definitely very nice. I gotta say, that double pick, like, it was calculated. There's no way they didn't calculate that. They had the nice slow approach, no one really giving away their positions. Then they had all at once, you had 1 kill from Arsenic, 1 from Toast. You had, unfortunately though, Thunderpilot getting taken down by Smithy, and there was just so much death all at once. There is no way that Mob Squad could have reacted in time. I think that's one of the very strong points of Globochem.
Yeah, not giving the enemy team the ability to rotate or even really know where their teammates are getting shot from. When the bullets come out in a coordinated fashion like that, it's kind of like mayhem, you know? I mean, especially if there's smokes down and frags going off, it really does kind of feel like the fog of war sets in, and it's really hard to defend an objective when your head's kind of trying to comprehend 3 different things at once. And it was a great play by Globo to win that round.
Absolutely. Now, what objective are we getting next? That's what I want to see. Oh dear, that's a dangerous one indeed for Globochem. If Mobscore can pull something off with this base of roof here, this could be so detrimental for them. Though it's going to be a really, really difficult push for them if they can take control of the northern side and push in along the base of roof, and also likely from the Bernie building at the same time. It'll be difficult, but if they pull off, they could bring this to a 3-3, and that certainly wasn't my prediction.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, but it very much depends on spawn. If you get that south spawn, I feel like you're at a very, very bad disadvantage when you're coming up against a defense for this objective. I think the north spawn, grabbing rooftop, is the way to go, because then you can sort of have oversight and orchestrate your offense's push onto this objective, and that's what Mob Squad needs here. They need that, either that north spawn or that crater spawn to try to get this objective. And yeah, bring it to that 3-3. That's what I'd love to see.
Absolutely, so would I. This is going to be likely a long matchup. So Mob Squad is certainly not rolling over here. The rounds have been quite close indeed. They did unfortunately lose a trade. Anyway, go now. This is looking like a bit of a northern stack defense. They're sending 3 men to the north as expected. You can't really afford to slack on the north with this kind of objective, especially when they get northern spawn like Mob Squad just has. Very nice spawn for them.
Yeah, and you can see Globo is very much aware that losing rooftop is the worst thing that can happen here, and they've committed these 3 members to the north side, looking to shut down this Mob Squad approach from the crater.
One of these members is an Arsenic, and he's likely going to be doing some serious damage to them if they start to come up the far northern side. That's appears that maybe one of them is trying to do, but no. It appears to be backing off and hopefully going with Blue Egg. A smart choice, considering Arsenic's going to be watching it from the hill on the north. You can see there, just by the palm tree. Question is, Toast actually managed to pick off plots there. I'm not sure where Toast actually managed to maneuver to, or whether it's the other way around. Managed to already get to the northern side. Not sure how Arsenic didn't spot that. Though he's certainly going to be looking for him now.
Yeah, and he's in a great position. If he just stands up and peeks over that wall, he'll likely be able to see him, but he backs off a little bit, not expecting him there.
A little bit of trading with Nolomite and Thunder Pilot, though. Nolomite does get a nice headshot on Thunder. He also does feel the wrath of the resulting bullets, and Raphael, he's actually pushed up to the eastern 2-story here. That's a really nice position, and it does earn him a kill. Now the question is, can he tango with another member? Arsenic does pick off plots. That is the north side emptied out now. It's just a 3v2 situation. Smithy is waiting for Raphael in the east 2-story, however, which is going to be a little bit of an issue for him.
Hey, I'm on Marshall Tower. Do you want me to move?
I think if Smithy's patient enough, he'll be able to catch this rotation. I think Raph's going to get antsy here and try to push up on that north side, try to wrap around behind him, and I think Smithy can capitalize on that. But he just needs a little bit of patience.
Definitely does. There is a nade, looks like, coming out from Raphael there, and he's trying to use that, I imagine, to actually it's a smoke. Use that to his distraction, though it unfortunately isn't good enough. Though it does let him sneak out just barely, and he is backing way off now from the looks of it. Yeah, he's rotating all the way back to the objective. Definitely the smart move in this situation.
Yeah, and that's a great tempering of aggression. I mean, there's something as being a little too aggressive on defense, and Raphael there was able to realize, hey, you know what? Might not even be worth it. Let's lock down this objective. Let's take this last round and take this to a 4-1. That's a great movement by him.
Indeed, our Semper is looking for Raphael. He has spotted him at the tank, and he's definitely going to be calling it out very shortly. If he can coordinate with Smithy, they do have plenty of time to maybe bring this back. A 2v3 is not unwinnable, even if it's against Globochem, though it's certainly going to be difficult.
Going to rely on Semper making some kind of move against Arsenic here and shutting down that entire north side for the defense, taking it back, being able to have that overwatch. But right now he's so focused on Raphael in that center area. Not sure he's going to be paying attention to Arsenic's rotations here.
Yeah, he definitely won't. They won't expect such an aggressive push come out, though really they should. Looks like our Semper is deciding to not toy with the roof. Probably a good idea, going for the base roof instead. Much smarter. Smithy is taking his time with the rotation from the east, though. They do have time, but they still have to cross the entire map at this point. Arsene is hunting Raphael on the tank though. Probably a good idea. Maybe wish he'd saved that nade he had at the start of his roof push here, but unfortunately he does not have it anymore. Arsene is just slowly waiting, slowly just trying to push up this base of roof and catch Raphael. Trying to, hopefully he's hoping to try and peek that kind of gap in the walls in front of him. Raphael is definitely not falling for it, and if Arsene gets spotted, Raphael is going to have a nade ready in his hand, I bet. He's in a very good position to defend from north and south simultaneously. He's got his teammates watching his north, and he can watch his south very safely.
Yeah, I think Smithy here needs to sync back up with Semper. He needs to move somewhere where he's got a little bit of overwatch on him, because refrags in this scenario would be ideal. I mean, if you wanna win this round, you're gonna have to at least bring it down to a 1v2. You can't have a 1v3 and be the last man alive on this last round.
Absolutely. Mob Squad are surprisingly burning a little bit of time though. Smithy's starting to cross way up into the far south. A little bit of a questionable choice there that may take up more time than they actually have as a luxury. Arsene is also starting to make some moves now. He's smoked out the burning that may spook Raphael a little bit, and he could turn around. Or maybe he's just waiting, hoping somebody's going to try and cross over here. No, if Smithy looks towards the tank, he should catch him, but no, it's Raphael who sees him instead. He gives away his position, he throws a frag on the other side. He knows there's someone there, but unfortunately it's Arsene who takes down Arsene. And now we are just left with Smithy, the lone man on ambulance. Hopefully no more incredible nades coming over here to Hail Mary him.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we didn't want to see. You don't want to be the last man alive. He wasn't there for the refrag. He's not aware of the positions of the defense, and I'm surprised he didn't check that courtyard for Raphael. I mean, it's a pretty common spot for people to sit and watch for a round.
Indeed, unfortunately it's Raphael who managed to take down Smithy. He was waiting for him to cross from ambulance. Those smokes maybe not the best idea. They did know he was in the south. They didn't know exactly where he was approaching from. I think if he kept a little bit silenced there, maybe gone around to the southwest instead of the ambulance, he might be able to make it out of there just a little bit longer though. Either way, it would have been incredibly difficult to pull off any kind of victory then. He had 3 members of Globochem just waiting for him, and especially Arsenic, who was watching from trench. There was no way he was getting out of that south side alive.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the worst possible case scenario there, and great plays by Globochem to make that happen. They were tight on that defense. They knew when to be aggressive. They knew when to back off. They held the right angles, and they came out on top for it.
Indeed, and Arsenic going 11-2 that map. Absolutely disgusting, with Toast also 8-5. That is incredibly brutal. Arsenic and Toast, they were really the carries of this specific map. I suspect we will see that kind of status change as this match progresses. Maybe Raphael and Auto and Thunder, they'll pick up their pace on the smaller maps, especially Raphael. I expect to see maybe some good nades coming out from him with that shield play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Toast and Arsenic are the two dangerous long-range threats, and it's not surprising to me that on the dangerous long-range map that they come alive. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Raphael with a shield on some of these smaller maps is going to be pretty crazy to watch. I can't imagine he's going to be just 2 kills for much longer.
I can't imagine that either, but this second match, if we hop over to the War Room, we can take a look at what this second map is going to be, and unsurprisingly, it is going to be Globochem's pick, and this is going to be a little nice bazaar here for the second map. Of course, we do have the Suburbia band from Globochem as well. I think this could be a very interesting map indeed. Mob Squad, I believe them to be a little bit better on the smaller maps than they are on the longer ones after losing Arsenic especially. But maybe Globochem with their kind of very, very good short-range players like Thunder, obviously Raphael, Toast also very good in the close range, but maybe a little bit too good for his own good. Obviously we saw him take down Arsenic on the quarantine round where they almost capped it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup here. I think because we're not going to be seeing too much of the long-range engagements. I'm expecting to see some shield play on both sides. What do you think about shields on Bazaar? What is your feeling on it?
I very much love my shields, especially on small maps like Bazaar. Well, Bazaar's not really too small of a map. I do like to see them on all maps, really. They're a good time to watch. And with maps such as Bazaar, where they're quite open but also quite close range, they can be a serious boon to teams. I'm not sure if Mob Squad's going to bring one. Maybe we'll see Plots bring one out on Nolomites, but Globochem, I have a feeling they'll definitely bring one out on almost every objective. I believe they probably won't during this objective, just due to the nature of crossing over to the main street. Not really too helpful to have a shield as they try to push the west, but it is possible that they could take them on the later rounds.
Yeah, I think having a shield is a great way to approach this objective from the southwest. I think the southwest lends itself to a really narrow corridor, and a shield push up that street can eat up some resources and give your team a little bit of time to make your push in from the eastern side. So I could see it happening in that way, but obviously the teams have no idea which spawn they're going to get, so not sure that they'll necessarily plan for that.
Much true indeed. Now hopefully we'll be hopping into this next round very shortly. We have no changes coming out from either side in terms of roster. It's both exactly the same. Pretty expected though. We do see Pants in chat here. Maybe he'll hop in later on the third map, or maybe he's just a bit too busy today. All is in the realm of possibility. See, it's that West Courtyard we very briefly mentioned. What is Toast doing there? He's kind of doing a little bit of a stretch after he threw away his pistol as usual. There we go.
They're just warming up.
Yeah, they're just warming up. Globochem, they're straight out of the gate, it seems. They're already sending 2 members across to the kind of central east side here. And what are these smokes from Mob Squad? I'm more interested in these than anything else. They're actually pretty good smokes. They're maybe a little bit weak on the southern side. If they cross people over, like Smithy and Nonomite, they're going to both die. This is going to be brutal. There goes Smithy, taken down. There is Reservoir. They do miss him, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That is going to be a very, very nice move for them indeed. They are going to get their revive most likely. Smithy is up, though they will not expect Thunder Pilot to be just around this corner, and there he goes. Smithy's got to flip back and deal with Thunder Pilot, though he is out of there. He wants no part in dealing with Smithy at the same time. Actually, he's coming back some more. Ah, never mind. He's just confirming the corpse. But those smokes, definitely not exactly what Mob Squad wanted there. A little bit too close to them, though. I'm really shocked by how aggressive that play was. Don't know about you, Noman.
Yeah, I think that was I think it was a good idea. It wasn't the great execution, but you can see now Globo is rotating around to that north side to try to capitalize or say, okay, you want the south? You can go to the south. We'll take the north instead.
It did indeed. You saw Smithy just managed to pick off a member of Globochem, member of Mob Squad right there. And a really nice nade takes down Raphael. That is going to leave the one member on the far north, Arsenic, to pick off Arsemper yet again in a refrag. The Plot is waiting to get the refrag from there as well. Smithy does eventually go down from Thunder, but the refrag comes from Blue Ager in the mini-market. A really nice tight shot there. Now this is a 2v2 situation, nice and even, and Mob Squad, they're looking strong right now.
Yeah, they've had some great picks. This is all going to be about Plot's rotation and trying to catch Arsenic as he comes through this bazaar. If he can catch Arsenic as he tries to push up, this could easily be Mob Squad's first win on this map.
Could indeed, though. Plots, maybe he's a little bit still cautious of the far north side. He doesn't seem to be aware that Arsenic could be rotating through the south. Though if he just goes into this 2-story now, right next to him, he could really do some damage to Arsenic and take him down and hopefully help his team win the match. Though Arsenic is way out of there now. He's gone top speed towards the southwest. And this is definitely going to be what looks to be a attempt to take down the objective man, because Plots is way too far away for his own good at this point.
Yeah, he has got to be rotating back. I'm surprised that Blue Egg is not calling on the radio. Hey, get back here. We got nobody on objective. I'm surprised that he's choosing to handle this all by himself, but so far Marsoc pushes a little bit slower. Arsenic's got to set back up after rotating and see if the defense can catch him out.
Is Orphan 1 and 2 clear?
Indeed. Arsenic and Toast are just keeping that communication nice and clean. No unnecessary chat over there, asking if things are clear. And so far, if they can just deal with Blue Egg, as we said, this is going to be, I think, a cap territory. If Globochem actually decide to go for it instead of the kill, this will be a cap for them without any doubt. Plot is still up in the northern side. Got to know to rotate, seeing the second any shots are fired on the west, he's going to rotate immediately.
Yeah, I think he had expected to see Arsenic if he tried to cross. I don't think he expected him to take that long route around and reposition on the south, and now he's kind of stuck up there. It's a great play by Arsenic, sort of bamboozling plots.
He is beginning to rotate back now, trying to go into the what looks to be the western courtyard from that kind of rotation he's doing. Though Bloega is all the man left alone still, and Plot is being so slow with his rotation. He's really scared of him still being up in the northeast side. And Arsenic has already ducked into the blue room here. This could be cap territory, as we said. But Toast unfortunately has given away his position by popping off those shots. And Bloega will be hunting for him along with also Plots. But Arsenic, he can definitely duck in for this cap. He's given away his position with that smoke though. Maybe it'll just spook Bloega, causing to rotate back to the western side, which is probably what they're hoping for. Though we do still have Plot waiting from the northern side. He's looking from the pallet, a very strong position, and he'll stop Toast rotating over. Though Arsenic is starting to go in now. This is their push. Looks like Toast did manage to take down Bloega. This is possible cap territory now. Plot is still too far away. He has not rotated back yet. I don't know what entirely his plan is here, but he needs to come back in now. Come on, Plot, what are you doing? He's not aware that his team member has in fact gone down, and Arsenic is going to be approaching the objective very rapidly, and this is going to almost certainly be a cap for Globochem. You can see Arsenic entering the code right now. Plot is starting to rotate, but it's far too late, and they do get the cap, and that's 2 points on the first round for Globochem. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, holy moly. I mean, Plots there was just taking his sweet time rotating around. I'm not sure what his thinking was, especially not checking your tablet when it's down to the last two. Anytime there's shots out, you should be checking that tablet, and Globochem go up 2 points as a result of that mistake.
They do indeed. Now, I gotta say, we are certainly seeing a little bit of a slightly more even spread. A 2-1, though Toast and Arsenic are still leading. But Thunder at least has picked up 2 kills. He's starting to claw back the slightly more evened out team kills for his slightly more evened out kills for his teams. Hopefully we'll see Auto and Raphael also start to dominate here. Though also Mob Squad, they need to start bouncing back here. It feels like there wasn't enough communication between Plot and Bloega there. They kind of just let him do his thing up in the north there. He didn't decide to go for a flank. He kind of just sat there waiting. I guess he didn't expect, or rather think, that Arsenic would rotate back from the north with the 12 times all the way to the southwest. That is certainly a very long rotation.
Yeah, it was a great rotation. It was almost cut short. Those shots that came out from Toast were out towards Arsenic in the blue room. I don't think he was expecting his own teammate to have rotated that far around. So it was, it was dangerous on 2 fronts, but it ended up working out for them. They had great coordination there at the end with the smokes and getting that cap off on that first round.
Absolutely. Now, Mob Squad are not looking so hot now. They looked really good starting off with the picks they had. They had a nice evened up 2-2, but man, I definitely didn't expect a cap from Globochem at the start of the round. At the start of the second map even.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, Bucks.
Globochem, they're going to be renamed now to the Spanish Inquisition. That is their official VRML name now.
We have too much power as casters.
We do indeed. This is looking like a standard 3-2 split though from Mob Squad. What are your opinions on this kind of standard 3-2 stuff? Most teams normally go like a 2-2-1. Well, Globochem goes 2-2-1, but most teams, they love their 3-2.
I think you need those refrag opportunities against Globochem. You have to run as a group. A 2-2-1 is an easy way to get picked off and lose your offense on one side or the other.
That is indeed true. We are seeing Bloega. He does manage to trade well. Well, not trade well. He takes down Toast. A very nice pick. Also, Raphael managed to pick up Nolomize. He tries to hop onto that roof. A bit too dangerous, in fact. And Raphael is running, interestingly, night vision. And he is unfortunately going to have a very, very dangerous tango with Plots just around the corner here. He goes for him against some trade, or rather it's actually Plot that survives that. It looked like a trade, but it was not indeed. And now it's Bloega and Thunderpilot right next to each other, just meters apart, inside and outside the building. They're going to have a little bit of issue here. Thunderpilot looks like he's getting a bit aggressive, starting to peek outside of the building. A little bit of anxious of Plot after they lost their man Raphael. He knows where Bloega is after he kind of popped off those words. And Plot takes him down. He gets way too aggressive and runs out into the open. Very unfortunate. And now this is a 2-4 Globochem, not looking hot at all.
Yeah, where was this mob squad on defense just now?
I have no idea, but Arctic at least does manage to take down Smithy. That's a good pick. That's one they needed. And he's at that nice planet's position as well. And the question is, can Auto just stay alive long enough? He does take down Blue Egg. Very nice. Now, there's also one man in the mini-market. That is Arsemper. Can he deal with him? If he can deal with him, this will be a really nice round. Recovery from Globochem, as expected of a team of their caliber. We do get some more shots coming out from Arsenic on the mini-market. If he picks us again, he's there. But no, he gets away his tablet. He takes out his tablet and misses the shot, though he could have got it. That's very unfortunate. He picks up his head. He's going to get wallbanged. Or after he doesn't, he ducks down. The wood saving his life. Arsemper, he's in a really bad position here. He has to move. 4 minutes remaining. There is plenty of time to maneuver. There is no need to continue hammering this western side.
Yeah, and Plotz needs to find a way to put pressure on the defense from his position as well. He's a little bit too far away from the action right now. And if he could get... Yeah, if he can get this position on Auto. Auto's a little bit out there. Arsenic picking up Semper.
Good indeed. And now this is just plotting. Maybe able to tag Arsenic, and in tagging he does. This is a 1v1. This is so close now. Mob Squad are looking really good in terms of individual rounds here on Bazaar. They could actually get the revive on the western side. Plotz just needs to rotate over, but he's not looking to do that. He does score catch Auto almost. He's going to be rushing up. He needs to confirm this kill. He is a little bit low on ammo. He's going to have to think about reloading. A really nice predictive smoke there. One on objective, one on the east, making sure he cannot be screwed with, but he's going to be taken down through the window instead. Very unfortunate. Absolutely beautiful plays from Auto and Globochem as a whole there. I can't believe they managed to clutch that round from a 2v4 to a 1v0.
Yeah, and I think that's been sort of the theme of this game so far is Mob Squad is leaving some of their members out of position. They're not getting into refrag opportunities. They're sort of expecting like a rotation onto a flank to give them what they want, and it hasn't worked out yet, and they haven't adjusted as a result. So yeah, they're just kind of hemorrhaging these rounds. To give up a 4v2 seems kind of silly when you've got those callouts and when you know that many members are down.
For certain, it seems that Mob Squad is definitely lacking these communications, and their rotates, as you said, the to scratch. They're banking on them a little bit too much with the rotate flanks. And it's just not working out for them. They're kind of not committing to it. They're in a nether state. Maybe due to the lack of confidence from obviously going against Globochem, the second best team in the world, undefeated for 2 seasons in terms of individual standard league play. And only defeated once recently by beginners at OC5, who are the #1 team in the world. But maybe that'll change tomorrow, where we'll see Globochem and beginners face off. That'll be a good one. Make sure you tune in for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one as well. It's going to be a really nice rematch. I think both teams are looking forward to it. I think there's going to be some high expectations for it, and there should be a great turnout for that game as well.
It should definitely be that. And yeah, I predicted it, and my prediction has come true finally, once and for all. I'm not 100% cursed. Globochem's kind of kill spread has stayed nice and even for this map so far. 2-3-1, 2-2. Very nice.
Yeah, I think that Mob Squad needs to form up. They need to work together. They need to stop spreading out a little bit. I think they still have a chance at this. I mean, they got this defensive round to take it back. You know, a defensive win in a cap could bring the whole map back into spitting distance for winning for them. They just have to kind of tighten up the defense. They have to communicate. They have to check the tablets. It's really basic stuff that they don't seem to be doing very well right now.
Yeah, that demoralization, which could have happened from the first round, well, the first map rather, where it was just a brutal loss, 4-1. Especially with the nade, I think it could have been insult to injury, and they're just kind of feeling that now, falling back into kind of doing dumb mistakes, things like that. It happens to everybody, even Globochem, though I don't think it would happen very often. If you're going to be a team at the very, very top of the league, you need to kind of iron out that entirely. You've got to stay nice and chill. You got to not let anything get to you, but you got to stay nice and competitive still. You can't lax up. You can't start relaxing too much. You got to stay on a nice kind of alert level of just neutral.
Yeah, definitely. You got to let those rounds roll off your back.
We are going into the third round. This could be potentially the final round. There they are. Globochem can get a quick spawn here. This could be so dangerous for Mob Squad. This could be potentially a 5-0 if Globochem so feels like it.
Yeah, I think that we should not be surprised to see some shield work coming out from Raphael, and in fact, yes, he does have a shield. And I think I'd be surprised to see if they don't at least try for the cap, if not actually get it.
Indeed. I think we might be seeing a little bit of an aggressive push coming out on the north side. It's Plants rushing straight into the two-story. Toast is going to pop out behind him. He doesn't catch him, though. It's going to be a nice kill instead. We also have Auto doing some fire on the central street, just trying to catch anyone that may or may not be crossing. Unfortunately, no one is. Smithy having an aggressive position, fails to catch someone. Arsene trading so much with Toast. It doesn't work out, but a team kill from Thunder takes down Toast. He's very angry. Thunder Pilot not happy with that. And he also does take some more shots from Smithy. He's in a good position to potentially take down someone else. Thunder Pilot, he's not in a good way right now.
Yeah, if Toast had not been picked off there, he would have been in prime cap range. There is no one on that objective. Smithy would not have been able to catch that in time. I don't think he was too focused on the Bazaar, and really unfortunate that that cap attempt, potential cap attempt, was shut down for them.
Indeed. We are starting to see the rotation. You could see one member on the far east on the map. He rotated over. He's now on the pallets near objective. A very good move, a nice rotation. Seems like it might be starting to form up a little bit here. It is a 3v4, however, and that's definitely not going to be an easy task for them, especially with Thunder Pilot starting to go into this two-story where they could potentially take down Smithy and make it a 4v2, which is even worse, obviously.
Yeah, I think they gotta slow down on these rotations a little bit. They're kind of panicky. They're checking every possible angle. Raphael with a great grenade on Nolamite there.
That was absolutely gorgeous. He somehow knew he was there and he just got it beautifully right on top of him. Thunder also sees Smithy moving about inside his building. Pops off some shots, unfortunately. Nothing connecting. We do have Raphael and Arsenic confirming the kill. Arsenic is just towering above this wall. Look at this. He's totally above it. His chest is even in it. That's amazing. It really shows off how high can be quite a big advantage, really. But unfortunately, not everyone can have the same kind of pros to it. Being tall also makes your model bigger, which is certainly not something too great. You're also taking down Smithy as well. That is a vital pick for them. This is likely where the cap attempt is going to begin. How do you think about this?
Yeah, I think Thunder Pilot just needs to move in for this cap. Bluega's too focused on the people coming up on the east side. I don't think he's paying attention to this at all as the smokes come out. I think we're going to see him bring his tablet out. Now Blue's finally rotating back to try to catch Thunder, and he's going to catch him, but it's a trade, and Globochem take the round, take the map, and take the series all at once.
As expected from Globochem, a totally dominating performance, though. Those rounds, they were so close. The score definitely does not reflect that.
No, I think they both played really great games. I think Mob Squad just made a few unfortunate decisions, weren't quite up to speed on what the other members of their team were doing, and gave up some gimmies there. I mean, they were up 4-2 in one of those rounds. They should have had that dead to rights, and unfortunately not able to capitalize. Globochem goes up 4-0 on this map.
Did indeed. Very nice plays from Globochem and some unfortunate mistakes from Mob Squad. It'll be interesting to see how things go into this third map, though. Maybe this is the Mob Squad chance to shine. We do see a pattern very often in the league, even though Globochem may dominate Mob Squad on these two maps. Considering they know they've already lost, there is no real pressure on the third map, so they could really let loose, kind of start, slapping their faces, get back into their zone, take back some pace, and maybe even take the map, depending on how things go for them.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times teams tend to get locked into their plans in the first couple of maps because they're so focused on the wins, they're so focused on the plays that they've come up with and what they thought of, and there's something to be said for playing a little bit more loose, playing fluidly. I think you can see that happening on the Globochem side with the types of rotations and the choices they make, and I think that's what kind of gives them that edge over some of these other teams. And in the third round, that pressure's off, like you said, and it's easy to, sort of let it roll off your back and play soft. And usually these teams that are dominated in the first two maps will come back and do a great performance in the last one. So I hope we see that.
Absolutely, I do as well. Now, while we're here, we might as well, while we're waiting for the map selection, to take a look at some of the replays from that match. We do, of course, have the beautiful nade from Toast here. This is something I want to see just one more time. I can't get enough of it. I love my nades. People know this. I really love my nade plays. See the smoke give away their position. And you just barely see at the edge of the screen the beautiful, gorgeous arc of the Toast nade coming over and tagging all three of them. Utterly disgusting. Utterly disgusting indeed. Now, it seems we are loading back into this third map, and I think I did in fact call that this could be the map we'll be seeing, and if we hop into the war and we can... Yes, this is going to be for the third map, a cargo. We still are not entirely sure what Mob Squad's ban is. Now, we do believe it to be downfall, as you said at the start, and I think that is indeed what their ban is. It sounds about right, considering it's, of course, arsenic.
I think we would have seen that map played if it wasn't banned. I don't think that Globochem would just let that one slide by.
Indeed. Now this is going to be cargo for the first map, as I said, starting off with a north objective. What are your opinions on cargo now? Because I personally think that it can be quite a balanced map, but it really depends on how your style of a team is. If you are a super aggressive team, it can play really well in your favour compared to the other team that may be rather passive. And if you're passive, it can really be totally devastating. Though maybe that's just indicative of a kind of a meta of fast play being superior to slow play to begin with.
I think a lot of it isn't necessarily about speed. I think it's about awareness. I think it's knowing where your team is, where your play is heading, where you're looking, what areas of the map you're looking to capture, and making sure that you're coordinated, moving together. If you're slow and that's the strategy that your team uses, absolutely do that. But a lot of the times, slow teams have an issue with syncing up their movements, and this map requires you to move as a unit, to move spread out, not in one spot. Obviously, this is a big grenade map. And I think that getting that timing, getting that sync is the biggest factor to this. Slow or fast, we've seen both kinds of teams win these maps and win these rounds. I think it's just going to be who coordinates best and who pays attention to what's happening on the battlefield.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. Especially you talked about the nades. This is definitely a nade-heavy map. Because if we see another nade like Toast pulled out in quarantine like we saw in the replay, I don't think I'm going to survive. I've said this many times, but I think this finally is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and I'm just going to keel over if I see another gorgeous nade.
You hear that, team? Stop throwing nades. We're going to kill Buxton.
Indeed. Here we go to the first round. Of course, it's always the same two spawns depending on the sides, and we are starting to see some smokes already coming out from Globochem. You can see it hitting the wall there of nades to prevent early nades coming out and just decimating the enemy team out of spawn. Very nice feature that was added. Very annoying in the past when it happened. This could be strong. Unfortunately, that nade, that could take down Raphael. It doesn't, but it's actually a smoke, and the Raphael instead takes down Plot. He's running night vision. Interesting choice. A really aggressive defense from Globochem here. And Raphael has his nade ready. He's going to be throwing it out. He's going to do absolutely nothing. So he almost team kills Toast. Nolomite does take down Toast. And this is going to be a very big skirmish in the center early on. Thunder Pilots take down Bluega, and now it looks like it's going to be Raphael pushing up for others. It's Arsemper that takes down Thunder Pilot, and Raphael also takes down Smithy as he tries to go around the corner. A trade between Arsemper and Raphael, and now it's a 1v2 situation with Nolomite and Arsenic right next to each other, and unfortunately it's Arsenic who takes him down, and that is a very nice 43-second round for Globochem.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would expect to see from these two teams. Neither of them are the take it slow and be methodical kind of team, especially not on maps like this. They like to be the aggressor. And we saw them meeting up right in the middle there. I mean, Mob Squad was a little bit slower on their push, and Globochem managed to capitalize on that slowness, but pretty much exactly what I expected to see on that.
Absolutely. Raphael did some serious damage, though, on the western side of the map going down there. Though he did almost team kill Toast, he did take down 3 members, which is definitely respectable. Even if you almost team killed someone, 3 kills, it makes up for it, for sure.
Yeah, I think once you crest 2, you're allowed 1 team kill. When you get 3, you're allowed 2 team kills. Isn't that how it works? Because you're just trading one life for another.
As long as you remain neutral, all is good with the world.
Yeah, exactly. You never want to be just regular negative. You want to be at 0 or above, whatever that is.
No, I don't think I've ever really seen a member of Globochem go below -1 before. I think it's only been -1 for all team kills. They've never got more than 1 in a single round without getting a kill to make up for it. Maybe Globochem just have some kind of black magic ritual to make sure that they don't do things like that.
Yeah, I think it's well established that we're in the realm of black magic here when it comes to Globo and some of their strats and their play styles, so that goes without saying.
Absolutely. The VRML, as all people should know at this point, is entirely run by black magic. We have voodoo shamans sitting in the back rooms of the VRML headquarters that run everything from matchups to matchups and everything else. MMR, you talk it, it's there. Starting to get the arsenic shield, and it doesn't work out at all. He already gets taken down by Luega. And we also have the shots coming out. Toast gets taken down by Smithy. 2 early picks in 20 seconds from Mob Squad. That's really nice. Globochem not looking to be in a good way. I'm like popping off some shots towards Auto, not going to work out, unfortunately. And this is starting to see the push coming out. Thunderpilot does tag Luega. Very nice pick there. Unfortunately, it's likely not going to make up for it. Thunderpilot does rush out, gets taken down by Plots. Now, Raphael should know that Plots is there. He's going to go for the flank on it, but team kill from Auto takes him down. He is resible, however, though. If Plots peeks out here, this is going to be devastating, and that nade also, rather a flash, it's safe. Auto managed to skulk out in time, but unfortunately, it's Nolamite who takes him down. And that is a nice 51-second round for Mob Squad there. They kind of instantly brought that back nice and hard. That early 2 pick from the West and Central there, not so good for Globochem. That's not what they need.
No, I was a little bit surprised to see Arsenic using the shield. As I've understood, taller players or taller player models have a harder time wielding the shield because a lot more of you can be visible on the outside of it. So a little bit of a bold strategy, him picking it up. But again, we are in the last round of this series, and Globo has already taken the series, so I guess it's not too surprising to see some unique plays from them like that.
Indeed, the Arsenic shield there is a perfect example of what I talked about on Bazaar, is that being tall in Onward has some drawbacks. It can certainly screw you over if you decide to take a shield or you're hiding behind a thin piece of cover, because how the Onward models and height work, they scale up totally. So the taller you are, the wider you are, things like that. That's why there are height limits to begin with, to make sure no one goes either total pencil or super small.
Yeah, pancake
yeah,
people.
They go 2-dimensional if you're too short. Don't let an ant play Onward. It doesn't work out well.
Yeah, and then everybody will just look like El Vegas, 40 seconds in every round.
Exactly. Though now, on this map so far, I think Mob Squad can claw this back. As we talked about just earlier, I think this could be the map, as we talked about, that they could bring this back and take the map. They definitely could. Now they're playing seems to be a bit looser. They're playing more aggressive. They feel more comfortable, I think. It's looking good.
Yeah, it was definitely exactly what I would have expected from them on that offensive round, or sorry, on that defensive round. A little bit more aggressive than maybe I would have played it, but it panned out for them in the end. And of course, that team kill from I believe that was Otto was pretty devastating, and a bit of a stroke of luck for them as well. So can't count that out.
Indeed. And I see here something very special and new to the 1.4 patch is C4 coming out from Post. That is something I'd certainly like to see used. We already have Arsenic picking off Luega. That is so nice, and we get an aggressive push. Arsenic does figure off Luega, though. Arsenic gets a really nice nade as well. Now it's Plots and Raphael toying with each other on the eastern side of the map here. We are also starting to get a push. Thunderpilot does revive Arsenic. We are starting to get a bit of a Volt push from Toast coming out here. This could be dangerous for Mob Squad. Good nade, though not quite enough. Arsenic and Smithy trade. Quite unfortunate for Globochem, though Plots does take down Raphael on this eastern side. Now it's just Auto and Thunderpilot left, with also one member trying for a flank here. Though he's going to be out of the action for a little while. Thunder rushes in, trades with one, and now it's Arsemper and Plots left. Never mind, just make that Arsemper. He's the last man left. There is only 50 seconds into this round, and we already have a 1v2 situation. Toast still too far away. Auto the only man left on objective. That was smothering.
Yeah, that was quite a heavy push there, and I mean, Plots was in a great position to try to move up and get the cap. Otto wasn't in position to try to check that smoke, but he chose to sort of wait for Otto to come into that lane, and didn't pay off for him. He lost the trade, and yeah, Sepper's got an uphill battle here against the last two members. That's for absolute sure.
Definitely does. He did just catch Auto with a really nice wallbang headshot there. That was glorious, and if he goes for the cap now, he will get it. Toast is having to come in from the northwest side of the map now. If he comes in too hot, Arsemper will hear him and he will take him down. Though he hears the footsteps. He should be able to take him down. It should be a map before. No, it's not going to be a round. He fails to get the shot as he comes around the corner. That's going to be Toast getting it instead. And he's going to celebratory. Oh, unfortunately, he couldn't get the C4 off in time. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and that was a really clutch play by Toast there. I mean, I don't think anybody would have expected him to rotate back that quickly and get that pick on a position he wasn't really aware of. I don't know if he's just got that superhuman hearing and can pinpoint where Semper was, but he came up around that corner with his gun up in that position. He wasn't even checking the objective. It was a great play by him.
It's I gotta imagine Arsemper is kicking himself for missing those shots. He had Toast dead to rights there. Totally dead to rights, but he just couldn't get the shots to land where he wanted. Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, but we're going back to a defensive round for Mob Squad, but we've basically been trading these defensive rounds back and forth, so I think there's still a chance. Mob Squad needs to hold this defensive round up, and then all they got to do is grab just one offensive one, and if they do a cap on the next, after taking this defensive round, if they get a cap on the offensive round after that, that could give them the map, and I don't think that's too far of a stretch.
Very much true indeed. Now, there is one issue for Mob Squad here, is that Globochem likely is going to take out a shield, and they're going to rush straight for it along the east. That's what I'm feeling. I reckon they'll send probably Raphael with the shield along the west, the rest all going east. That's what I'm feeling here, and I think it's going to be devastating for them. I'm not sure they'll be able to pull it off, though. Maybe they'll surprise us like they have surprised us on every occasion, really.
Yeah, I think the grenades are going to be the turning point here. We'll see who can land the best frag. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those. And I'm curious if there's going to be any C4 kills. We haven't seen one yet in this series, but as you mentioned, we did see a member, I think, of Globo using it last round.
Indeed, we are starting to get some free fire coming out. I'm not going to do anything, though, as it's kind of focused on the western side. It seems my prediction is wrong. And what is this aggressive push from Nolomite? He's going straight in. He's trying to toy with Toast. It's not going to work out. He's trying to cross over, gets taken down by Toast. The refrag coming out from Smithy, and Arsenic takes down Bloega. That is a very quick trying to trade there. It's a 3v4 situation now. This is looking to be a central and western stack offense here. Raphael running straight out of the open. Smithy fails to nab him. Now this is going to be an aggressive push from him. It's not going to work out as Arsenic is the one that takes him down and rushes straight in. Trades with plots, and now this is a 1v2 situation with a res possible for both sides. Now it's a 1v3. There is a man on objective, and it's Raphael, but it doesn't work out. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how I almost didn't catch him there, but Arsenic is going to be in a very bad way now. He needs to take that shield and use it, in my opinion.
Yeah, sometimes it could be a death trap to pick up a shield from offense, though. I mean, yeah, it seems so good when it's against you, but if you haven't practiced with it and you don't really know the angles, and you get your gun stuck inside of it and it doesn't fire, it's an easy way to lose a round for free.
Very true. These smokes from Globochem, they're certainly looking aggressive. And if they throw a nade over towards the barrels here, that'll be absolutely amazing. But Arsemon's getting so aggressive here. He's scared of them kind of walking up to the objective from the central east side, and he's very cautious of it. He's peeking this corner constantly. A good move. A dead man is better than a capped team. That's what Strajak's saying is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Plots should be able to call out maybe these footsteps. I'm not sure if you can hear them that well in the down state, but callouts do come out as I say that. This Emperor should be aware somebody's coming through that tunnel now. At least he has a little bit of intel to work with rather than just panicking over smokes.
Hope so, but Thunderpilot's starting to sneak up now. If he continues to play as aggressively as he is on the objective... Oh, Plots, yeah. I said... Well, you said rather that you could call him out, and he did. That's good information. So I don't think he knows there's one in tunnel unless you heard him call him out. It's going to be still a little bit of an issue. A nice predictive nade from Semper, but unfortunately not enough. He's playing so aggressively, he's still out in the open. There's not really any good position to defend this objective from unless he heads to the south pipes and crouches there, though it's going to be dangerous crossing there with this kind of situation. Is he going for it? That would be a good move if so, though it is dangerous with Plots sitting in the southern side, well, not Plots, with Auto sitting in the southern side here. Moving to that exact position. Yes, this is perfect. This is exactly what he needs right now. They will not expect him to be here. Oh, that nade, no. Oh, Oh, that was incredibly close. They must have seen him. Plots must have somehow known he was there. Or it was just a total guess, which would be even better, honestly. Oh, and he smoked that out. That means our Semper's going to have to move. This is tense. He's starting to rotate off. He doesn't see Auto out the corner of his eye. That's going to be a bad move. He's going to have to be very careful now. There is a man behind him. He doesn't realise at all. He's not going to see Thunderpilot either because of the edge of the smoke. He stands out. He does see Thunderpilot. He needs to keep his position concealed right now. Stealth is more important than anything else, with Auto being just meters behind him. He does pop up some shots, fails to hit Thunderpilot. That means Auto's going to be rushing out, but he's also going for the flank here. This is so aggressive. He's not expecting this. Thunderpilot's going in around the blue container. Arsemper will not expect it. He does see him. He's so far away from objective. He does take down Thunderpilot now. It's going to be just Auto on the southern side, and he will not expect it. And Arsemper's going to go down as he crosses. But no, he makes it away. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Noman.
Our Semper might have an invisibility cloak. I think that's what I'm going to say. He has made some crazy rotations here. I'm shocked he's still alive, but he is playing this really well.
Yeah, this is the tensest round of Cargo I think I've seen in a very long time. Last one's going to fall straight in, but no, he fails. And Arsemper's the one that in fact takes it. Also missing those vital starting shots. And in fact, it's amazing clutch from Arsemper there. 1v2 with such a disadvantaged position. That is utterly amazing. That's a clutch play right there, if anything.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, he played that down to a T for every single engagement he got into. He got the right crosses at the right time. He had the right equipment. He made the right rotations. That was just a symphony of timing and gameplay by him. It was a great thing to watch.
Yeah, that aggressiveness on the Thunderpilot, that was exactly the right choice. Because obviously, sitting back on the objective and waiting for them to come to you, when it's a 1v2, that's not going to work. They know where you are. They know that if they get a cap, you won't allow it under any circumstances. So you're going to have to put yourself in a bad position. But if you rush out into the open, near objective, but still try and go for the kill that you can pretty sure get, it's just much smarter in general. And I think Arsemper, he's going to be very happy with himself with that. And maybe Mob Squad, as you said, will get this cap and bring it to a 4-2.
I think that's what they want. I think that's what they're going to be gunning for here. I expect to see a pretty aggressive push from them. They want to close this out as quickly as possible. They've had some chances already with Globo's pretty aggressive defense, but nothing's come of it yet. And I think that they're gonna try and make it happen. I think we're gonna at least see a Mob Squad offensive win here, if not a cap.
Believe so as well. This is going to be a difficult one. Let's see what objective we're actually getting here. This is going to be that kind of north-south objective. Kind of a difficult one to name, as they are pretty much meters apart, the one on this side of the container and the one on the south side of the container. Kind of hard to call out, but they are functionally almost the same. Previously, you could cap inside this building just on the corner, though that was patched out since you can no longer enter the code when any part of your tablet is inside the world geometry. That shouldn't affect Mob Squad in this kind of situation regardless, as I imagine it's going to be down to kills rather than caps. That's what I'm pretty certain on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty surprising to see a cap here, but I think they are going to try for it. I think just because both teams sort of have a feeling that a cap is not very likely is what makes it very likely, if that sort of makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, now going into this round, should hopefully see some very good engagements. I'm not sure it's going to be a slow round like we kind of seen previously. It's going to be a good one, that is for certain in any case. I expect Globochem to try their aggressive central push like they did on the previous round. Just doing some jumping jacks just to stay nice and warmed up. And he has the C4. What are your thoughts on the C4, Noman? I think it's pretty strong myself.
I think it's almost too strong. It needs to make a sound. It doesn't make any noise. I think that's the biggest problem with it. It's hard to gauge where it is.
That is true.
You get the pin pull on the grenades that you can hear from half a map away. I think C4 needs something like that to temper its strength.
Unfortunately, Toast C4 is not really going to do anything, but Thunderpilot has taken down Plot. He is Reservoir no more, as Thunderpilot does finish him off, and he's crossed out the open. He's going to get taken down by Bluega and finished off as well. That's a nice pick. That's what they need. Now Arsemper and Bluega are going to be assaulting the western side of this map here with Toast trying to defend for that nade. Never mind, it's a nade and also a beautiful shot. And Raphael gets a nice nade onto BuxtonWater and a confirming one from Arsenic takes him down. Now this is going to be a 3v3. I'm still not entirely sure he could take it. It could go either way.
Yeah, it is way too early to call. It all depends on the positions on these east side, on these two on the east side developing and trying to take out Otto. If they can take out Otto, they've got a pretty good approach here. Oh, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it doesn't work out at all as Arsenic managed to take down Arsemper, and also a man in the east goes down. Now it's just a 1v3. Smithy's in such a bad way here. He can't take this. And unfortunately, he definitely can't. As goes to, Crown goes to Globochem rather, as Auto managed to take him down. But I think they could take this back. I think they can continue and at least take this to a 3-3. Unless Globochem go totally aggressive and start rushing straight in, which could take Mob Squad off guard.
I think Mob is going to be expecting a heavy rush here. I think because this is the last round, potentially the last round of this map, I think they're going to be expecting something particularly aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised to see them playing a little bit further back than they have been in the last couple of rounds, and at least trying to take it to that 3-3 and give themselves another shot at this last map.
For sure. Now, the killers are, again, it's nice and spread. No one's really kind of leading Globochem here. They're staying nice and spread even. The rounds are kind of trading as well. Except for Arsemper, he's leading with the Mob Squad just by a hair. I'm putting him above the others, even though Plots does also have one less kill. Well, only one less kill, just because of that amazing play we saw.
Yeah, Semper was definitely turned up to 11 there. That was quite a play. Hope somebody clipped that in the chat if somebody was paying attention. That was a great series of events for him.
Very much hope so. But going into what could be the potentially final round, the sixth round now, starting off. This is going to be again that north objective, of course, with the trading. I'm not sure he could take this, honestly. It could go either way. But what are your opinions on what do you think Mob Squad is feeling right now?
I think they need this win, and I think they're playing just for the win. I would be very surprised if they push anywhere past that center area into Globo's range. I think they're going to try to get those picks.
Possibly. We have an aggressive push from Raphael up here with the tunnel shield. He's going to have a deal with BuxtonWater on the corner here. Unfortunately, he's not just seen him. He does peek out. He does take down Plots, and also Toast goes down after Toast takes down Plots, rather. Raphael and BuxtonWater having such a great hit. Raphael has a nade in hand, and he gets taken out by Toast, who pushes up. He's at it with a silence pistol. That is incredible. He's going with a silence pistol. Doesn't work out, unfortunately. Smithy takes down him, and Arsemper takes down Raphael with a shield. Very unfortunate. Now, Smithy's trying to deal with Thunderpilot on the center and also Auto on the east.
Yeah, there was so many quick pops there, and I'd like to note that I think Otto was using silenced pistol there instead of his rifle to take down whoever that was on the right side next to Raphael.
Yeah, he was. That really surprised me.
Shots. Yeah.
Makes a very distinctive and very satisfying sound. Looks like Thunderpilot's trying to go for the revive onto Raphael here. He has plenty of time to do anything he really wants. They could bring this up to a 4v3, which would certainly make it a little bit easier. Though Smithy, is he rotating to try and confirm this? He is pushed up to the center, but all members of Globochem are on this western side going for this revive. They need this. They know they need it. Arsemper and Smithy, they're playing so aggressive, they're peeking out here. Redirected smoke, Raphael and Smithy just toying with each other. We have shots from Thunderpilot taking down Nolomai, and now we have more shots from Arsenic. The LMG suppressing. Smithy's going to be the one that pushes up here. He's going to be the killer for Globochem. He does take down Auto. Arsemper also takes down Arsenic with a beautiful nade. Now Smithy goes in, takes down Raphael. He's a bit far from objective, but Thunder is the one that takes him down. Now it's into a 1v1 situation. Globochem need this round to win the map. Well, they have already won the match, Arsemper, though. He could pull off another clutch moment.
This is where he shines. I'm expecting him to pull something out of his head here, take down Thunder, and take this to a 3-3.
I believe so as well. He's in a good position once this smoke clears to watch over the objective, but he's had to rotate away strangely. If he goes to directly on objective, he's going to have to tango with that kind of angle there where they could have some pretty good cover and you won't be able to see them sneak up. Though if Thunderpilot decides to go around this corner, he's going to get taken down. Either this building or the other side are both good areas to defend the objective from, so curious to see him bouncing about here. Oh, that nade from Thunder, that could be devastating. It's going to land almost directly on top of R7. It goes a little bit too far, very unfortunate. Now Thunder's just trying to figure out what the best move here is. What do you think he should kind of do in this situation, Nalco? Noman.
I am all of the people on my team. So I think his approach is correct. I think you want to come in on the angle where you have the most sight lines onto people potentially at the objective. And if you come in low and slow enough, sometimes defenders like to take up maybe that building or the building across right next to where Semper is, and they don't have a good sight line on that. But in this case, Semper's got the right idea in watching that sort of tunnel side approach. And I think he's focusing on possibly hearing an approach from the east side rather than seeing it, and watching this western approach. Western approach instead.
Certainly risky, and Thunderpilot has... What kind of high-level play is that? He threw a knife to make noise distraction on the east. That's beautiful, and now Arsemper's anxious. You can see him rotating away from the objective. He's ran back into the building, exposing himself. And he's checking the east now. This gives Thunderpilot a clear line towards the objective. There's such a small play making such a huge impact there.
Yeah, that's just that kind of panic. I mean, you hear that sound and you automatically think, oh no, there's a frag right next to me, I've got to move, and it makes you change up your play just that little bit.
It does, and here goes Thunder around the corner. Unfortunately, it's going to be traded, but the trade, it goes very luckily to Mob Squad's favour. Well deserved after such an impressive performance during that round. And we're going to be going to this 7th round now. This is going to be the very important one. I think Globochem, I think they'll decide to play it even more aggressive. They have nothing to lose on this map.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just thinking here how funny it is that on this small map we're going blow for blow, but on other maps, such a decisive blowout. I don't really know what the difference would be. I mean, obviously you get into your engagements a little bit faster, but you have to think, like, if Mob Squad played a little bit more aggressive on those other maps in the offensive rounds they had, or even in the defensive rounds they had, maybe they could have taken a few more of those rounds away. I think this is a good learning opportunity for them in terms of how they deal with a Globochem defense or an offense.
Good indeed. If we take a look at the scoreboard here, you can see they had a lot of trouble on the first 2 maps, as you likely remember, unless you joined in late, in which case you missed some amazing moments on the first map. You see it went 1-4 with Mob Squad, only getting 1 point there, and crushing loss on Bazaar. They had that very nice arsenic cap with plots failing to rotate, just not getting the communication through. Though they're certainly, as we predicted at the end of Bazaar, they're bringing it back on a 3rd map. They're nice and relaxed, they're ready for this. And I think that's going to continue on to this final Master round. I think they're definitely going to try and take this no matter the cost, just out of desire to make sure it's desire to get your map wins on the board. It always feels better to go 2-1 against a number 2 team in the world than a 3-0, regardless of the points.
Yeah, taking a map from Globochem, it feels good, I gotta say, it feels pretty good. So if you're doing it for nothing else other than personal satisfaction, I can totally understand Mob Squad fighting hard for this last one, despite already having lost the series. It just is a shame that this sort of aggression comes out this late.
Indeed, it's always the final map that this kind of thing happens. It's a very, very common pattern.
I know, I just got angry then, but I got 4 kills, it worked.
Smithy's decided to channel his anger into getting 4 kills, and it's working out, he says. Now, at least, this is going to be a very dangerous objective for Mob Squad.
Yeah, this one is very quickly capped if you're aggressive enough, but I think Globochem is more than experienced enough to know how to defend against an aggressive push like this.
I think so as well. We see Raphael redirecting a failed smoke and a lot of nades and spokes coming out now. It's going to be dangerous for all teams involved, really. You see one coming out from Raph, though. Torres doing some nice killing the tunnel, taking him down. And there seems to be an eastern stacked offense here. Raphael's in a really good position to stop this. He's likely going to take down Normite and Semper as they try to push out. Running night vision as well, which is even more interesting. He does see Seppa through the wood. Northern should peek around the corner and take him, but he doesn't. He reacts too late. Shot comes out. Thunderpilot takes him down instead, and Toast team kills Arsenic. Very unfortunate. Raphael does pick off Arsempa, the prone man, finally. And now there's one rushing into the objective. It's Smithy trying to take down Auto. He does take down Auto. Raphael also goes down from Plots. A kill from Toast takes down Plots as well. Smithy takes down Thunder, and now it's just him left against Toast, who's on the other side. He should know from that nade. He's got to back off, rotate around, take him down. He does see him cash off the shots. Not enough though. This is the one kill he needs. This is the clutch moment for his team. We are only a minute and 10 seconds left in, but man, this is so tense. Toast is going to be rotating around now. This is dangerous. This is so dangerous. He's going to be looking for Smithy. Smithy doesn't know Toast is right out here, but the trade works out anyway. And Mob Squad are the team that win this map, finally clawing back a map win for them, putting them on the map win board.
Yeah, that is exactly what we wanted to see, and I think that's exactly what Mob Squad wanted to see. That's a great morale boost after the kind of game they've had, and good on them for being able to pull that off in the end. There was a lot of trading at the end that worked out for them.
Yeah, definitely did. Very good. They were very lucky with the trades as well. And I think Mob Squad are going to be going away from this match pretty happy with it. Getting a map win against the best team in the world, that's nothing to laugh at ever. Well, second best team in the world, rather. It's definitely nothing to laugh at, regardless of what kind of level of skill you're at. Even beginners getting a kind of score like this wouldn't be too unusual to see. And they walk away pretty happy with it. That's if Globochem evolved massively, though. There's a reason beginners is #1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is it's nothing if not a learning experience for teams that are coming up and fighting for those top 10 spots. And I think you can't be too upset with a 10-5 final, or sorry, 11-5, I think, to final score.
Yeah, it was 5 points to Mob Squad and 11 to Globochem, taking them down from 12 to 11. That always feels good against a team. You know you've just managed to take them away from that full MMR game. It's very satisfying. Omen, what are your thoughts on that incredible matchup between these two teams? How do you think Globochem is going to be going into the match on tomorrow against beginners? This maybe will affect them a little bit, but I don't think it will. Maybe it'll give beginners a bit of info on how to deal with Globochem.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest worry is that, some members of the beginners are definitely going to be watching this. They're definitely going to be paying attention to some of these new strategies. The Globochem's rolling out all the time, all the different changes. But I have to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a different Globochem tomorrow. I think that it's going to be a fresh game, and I think they're going to play it fresh, especially coming off of a win like this. It feels good. I mean, Mob Squad is no slouch. They're no simple team to roll over. I think it's good practice, good warm-up for them, and I'm excited to see what kind of stuff Globo rolls out. And I want to see if the beginners have something new, something that we didn't see at OC5 to try to topple Globo in the second meeting this season.
It will be very interesting to see, but now that is all the VRML Master League has for now. But we do have matches coming later on. Tomorrow at 6 PM GMT we have Silent Knights casting Lemon Squad versus Wrath, and later on in the day 7:30 PM GMT Globochem versus Beginners, the match we're all talking about. That'll be a good one. We also have some later on that night. If you want more info on where these matches are taking place, what time they're taking place, you can go to vrmasterleague.com/onward and you can just click on matches there. The link is in the Twitch description here. So that'll be all from the VR Master League today. I'm signing off here with my co-caster Noman. It's been a very good match. Goodbye, everyone.